OG 45ers. This is Cecilia from Scrapbooking Cecilia. Welcome to a new tutorial that I am going to make for Graphic 45 with the stunning, amazing paper collection, Curiouser and Curiouser. I'm sorry if I am not pronouncing fine, which I know I am not. But what is important here is how gorgeous this paper collection is. I'm going to be using the 12 by 12 paper pad, as well as some of the black chipboard sheets to make a storage kind of tower with drawers, because I have here in front of me all this mess. You can see here all my clips, and definitely I don't want to see it more in this way. I want to organize even more my small space, my working space. I'll be using also this gorgeous ivory, gold, and champagne washi tape. I'm going to be using the champagne, and I'm going to be using 3 of these metal brads to pull out or pull in the drawers. So first we need to measure in our, of course we will need the ruler, scoring board, any scrapbook material or tools. Okay, in the 12 by 12 sheet, the first thing that I'm going to make is some measures. I'm going to measure at 9.5, and I'm going to make 2 marks inside this 9.5 inches. The first it's at 2.5 and at 7. I'm going to be marking here. So 9.5, 7, 2.5. Now I'm going to join all these lines or these pencil marks. I hope you can see it, because I know this is black on top of my black matte, silicone matte, but I think you are watching here my first mark, my second, and my third. Now turn the sheet, and again the same marks: 9.5, 2.5, and 7. One more time here: 9.5, 7, 2.5, and again connect these marks. I choose this paper collection because it fits with the other storage elements that I have here in my table, and because I always like to have the papers that inspire me the most to work, to trim. So now we are going to cut at the 9.5 and 9.5. All right. So okay, now I have 9.5 square. Now in these lines, in the 4 lines, we are going to cut in this way. The first cut, don't add any pressure, just slide the cutting tool without any pressure. Okay, just do this. Now from this point to here, I'm going to cut, because here I want to separate this part as well as here, and I'm going to stop in my 2.5 line down. Okay, I'm going to make exactly the same in the 4 sides. And we can use these pieces later. I'm going to leave this matte because it's quite difficult to see black on top of black. Now, because we just made a slight cut here, we can bend the chipboard easily. And at this point, you want to check that all corners meet exactly where you want, at the same height. If they don't, this is the moment that you have to remove any excess, if there is some. And in my case, it is not. This is just fine. Now, in one of the 4 flaps, we are going to take new measurements here. We are going to make a mark at 1 from one side and 3.5. Now we are going to join here. And now from this side to outside, we are going to make a mark at 1/2 inch and 1.5. I am aligning my ruler here exactly at 2.5. So in this way, I am sure this is going to fit. So 1/2 inch, 1.5, and one more time, we are going to join these marks. In this part, we are going to remove it. This is ready, and we are going to have here this window, which is going to be in the front. Now, with some leftover pieces of black cardstock, I just made 4 inches that measure 1 inch wide by 4.5, and I scored the small side at 1/2 inch, and I just cut and angle my corners. You need 4 of these, and you need also 4 that measure 2.5 by 1, and the 1 is scored at 1/2 inch. With this one, we are going to join the sides together. Be careful and don't push here, because we have a window and you don't want to damage the window because it's thin, this chipboard. Okay, that's it. Now I am going to reinforce my 4 sides with this one. Okay, I already covered all my edges in the base, but here is where I am going to be using my gorgeous washi tape. This color is fantastic. I really love it. Well, all of them, but I don't know. I am in love of this champagne. And first I'm going to be using some glue. A piece of acetate that fits here, and this piece measures 3.5 by almost 2, 3.5 by 2. And I am going to remove my plastic. I'll be using some of this glue, but this needs to dry. Now, to cover my outside 3 sides, the front is going to be a different paper. To cover both sides in the back, I am going to be using this gorgeous Always Late paper. This is the A side, I think, and this is the B side. And you need to cut from the bottom to the top. You need to cut at 2 7/16. So I put my paper and I align it at 2 7/16 and cut my strips 2 7/16 by 12. From one strip you can have 2 of these that measure 4 7/16. Okay, one it's going to be here, the other it's going to be here, and the other is going to be here. Now this one, you can see here, I have some tape here because you only have two and have a piece left. So with that piece left, I just align them with something in this way, join, and use some double-sided tape to join them. In the front, I'm going to be using beautiful no sense because it's stunning, this paper. I really love it so much. And this piece of paper measure exactly the same, 2 7/16 by 4 7/16. Inside, I'll be using this another dreamy paper collection, which is Trim It. This pattern, it's gorgeous. One of the reasons because I loved so much Graphic 45. I am in love of this pattern. So one more time, same process. The pieces measure 2 7/16 by 4 7/16, and I had to join one piece. First, I think that I am going to cover everything except here, and when I cover my outsides and insides, I am going to come back with you to make the front side. Remember, this is your top side. Now turn the paper, and we are going to make our marks in the back, okay? From one side to the other, we are going to mark at 7/8 of an inch in both sides, which are 7/8 and 3.5. Okay, now join these marks. Now I am going to turn my top side to my right because my bottom side, we need to make a measure. Measure at 3/8 of an inch, and from the top to the bottom we need the measurement one more time at 7/8. So the second mark is 1.5. So in the bottom, mark 3/8 of an inch and 1.5. Now one more time, let's join the lines. We are going to remove the center, and that's it. And don't throw away this piece because we are going to use this in a moment. Now because that's my preference, when I use black paper on top of the black, I don't want to see the white that is here, and I am going to be using just my Sharpie. And before we attach it, we need to check if this fits as we want, and yes, it fits perfectly here. I am just going to press in the back. Okay, we are going to need to add this metal brad. I am using one of this one that are on the top. With the leftover chipboard that we have removing this window, we need a piece that measure 1/2 inch by 2 inches, and we are going to use this to wrap that. And here I am just going to ink a little bit with black, just a little bit, okay? And another piece of the red that I have left, this piece measure about 3/4 by 2 1/4. It's going to be on top just to make a little frame. I will try to center this measure a half an inch, so I'm going to put my ruler at a quarter of an inch from the bottom and then mark the center, which is 1, and I am just going to make a pencil mark here. I don't know if you can see the cross. I have a quarter of an inch in the bottom, a quarter of an inch in the top, 1 inch and 1 inch, and that's my center. With my big hole, I am just going to open here, and for this I discovered that it's quite easy to work with this tool. I forgot the name, I'm sorry. And just put both legs in the back, and of course it doesn't go all the way to the inside, so here open with the legs holding your breath here, and now you have here room to hold this and push in and pull in and pull out. And now the only thing you need to do is to center this in metal pieces. I like to use this really strong glue just to secure it here in the back. Just going to hold them just for a moment, especially here where I have the metal legs in the back. The next step, we'll need from the black chipboard 4 pieces that measure 4 and 11/16 by 4 and 5/8 of an inch. This side measure this, and the 4 and 5/8 is going to be the long side, and this is going to be the width, okay? And we need another piece of the black chipboard that measure 4 and 11/16 by 7 and 7/8 tall, and 2, this is going to be in the back, and on the sides you need 2 pieces that measure 4 and 5/8 by 7 and 7/8. And starting in the bottom, you want to make some lines. The first, it's at 2 and 5/8 and 5 and a quarter. You need to make one measurement here and one here and join the points, okay? So in this way, we can see here we have everything aligned properly. All right, now this, it's going to be just exactly where the line is, but because this is a thin chipboard, what I am going to make first, with leftover pieces, I always keep my leftover pieces of cardstock. So with my leftovers, I made hinges, and these ones measure 4 and 5/8 of an inch by 1, and I scored at a half an inch in the long side. So I'm going to be adding 1 in the top and 1 in the bottom in both sides. And when I have those, I am going to measure here to make the same in the back. The front, of course not, because we are going to we are going to put the drawers inside, okay? Now, this is going to be my top side. So the top just need my hinges in the back. The piece, I mean, this is going to be here and this is going to be the top side. So I am just going to add my hinges here. And in the bottom, if this is my bottom drawer, I am just going to add my hinges here and here, and two of them are going to have the hinges in both sides. So it's important because we just have 1/16 of an inch. This is not a square. We have 4 and 11/16 and 4 and 5/8 of an inch. So it's important that you keep always that in mind. So I'm going to add my hinges and then I'll come back with you to assemble the box. Okay, I already add my hinges. And once again, be careful because it's important that you add in the short sides in both of them the hinges and in one of the longer sides. And in this one, for example, I made a mistake, so I needed to cut here and correct this. But that's something that you need to be careful, and if you need, it's better to add some marks with your pencil on the sides that you want to make to add the hinges. Now, to assemble this, I'm going to be using my table because I think it's going to be easier in that way. I am going to add some glue here in the edge. I'm sorry for the light. It's really a cloudy day, so you see, there is it. And now I am going to push this to this side and this one, and then this is going to be in the top. In this way, I can put this on place. And now we just need to hold this for a moment. I prepare some hinges and I'm going to use them here. These hinges measure 2.5 by 1, and I scored this side at 1/2 inch. I'm going to start in the bottom, so I need to add this here, and let's find the way. There you go. So first I'm going to be adding some glue here and also in this hinge and in the bottom as well. I am not going to add in this side because, oops, let's hold this first, and now let's hold this one. This piece needs to be here. I'll line it in this, in here, and I'll line it here, okay? tell you the papers that I am going to use to decorate the sides, the back, bottom, and top. Let me bring the papers that I've been using. For the sides, you will need this gorgeous paper, which is Happy Hours. These two pieces measure 4 and 9/16 by 7 and 13/16. All right, 4 and 9/16 by 7 and 13/16, one on each side. Now, in the back, I'll be using these beautiful joyous possibilities in this beautiful side. And this measure 4 and 11/16 by 7 and 13/16 to decorate the back. And this is Dream It, and it's so beautiful. We need two pieces that measure 4 and 11/16 by 4 and 9/16. One is going to be on the top and one in the bottom. So I'm going to start adding my papers, and then I'm going to make a kind of, it's not a complete box, but something here to put my eraser and the tiny things that I use. Okay, everything it's covered in this way. This is my top side, and here I want to add something to decorate. So first, oh, let me tell you, from the what are these? From the signature page, I just cut the stamps in these two cards, and I add some black chipper on the back, and then I just add a frame with some chain. That's only decorative because I want to add one on each side of the box. So let's do this first. Now, on the top here, I want to make a kind of a little box or something like that. Okay, I measure 1.5 here and in the top, and draw my line, and I did the same in this side. I measure 1.5 here and here and make my line. Okay, now from the top to the bottom, I mark at 3 and 1/8 here and here and draw another line. With my knife, what I did first, I cut without any pressure as I did the drawers. I cut here, just pass without any pressure one time with your knife, and then I did the same here and here. Okay, slowly and without any pressure. And then when I have mark here and here, I remove here and here and these two. In this way, we are going to have this piece, and we are going to join here with some hinges, which I have here left over. I want to use this card. This card is here, Adventure Time. I remove it from here. I remove from here the stamps, and from here the cards that I add here in both sides. From this one, I fussy cut Alice, but I didn't use this sheet because I already had the other one. And this piece, it's going to be here, in this way, and in the back I am just going to be using this gorgeous paper. So, and with the same paper, but I'm going to be using this side. This measure 1¼ by 1 3/8 to cover inside here. Now in the sides I'll be using the stamps. First this one, now I want to add my Alice here, and I think that I am just going to bend here a little bit my acetate. Add as many decorations as you want. With the 2 pieces of chipboard left from here, I just adhere them together. I'll be using this, which I use on the drawers side, to cover here, and I am just going to do it as we cover. And that's it. I hope you like this project and you want to give it a try. And don't forget to tag Graphic 45 or tag me as well, because we really love to see what you create with our ideas. So thank you so much.